Alright, what is going on, gentlemen and lady? I come to you from the darkness of my car at fucking 3:48 a.m. I have like 2 hours ago, I finished probably one of our bigger 40k games to date, and certainly the biggest that the Kroot were involved in. I did my best to film a little battle report for you guys. As you know, I'm pretty limited at what I can do at the time, and it is just me working all by my dumbass self. So bear with me, but the following battle report hopefully will be interesting for you guys, and if nothing else, it is pretty short. So what I'm going to do right now is, just because we forgot to talk through them at the start of the game, I'm going to very briefly go through the lists. And what will probably happen is I will have something pop up as soon as I finish speaking with just like the list written out, so it's easier for you guys to just read through it instead of listening to my probably incorrect explanation. So this was a sort of training practice game, whatever you want to call it. For anyone that's watched some of my live streams and stuff, our friend Tara has jumped into 40k with Eldar. And she really was excited to, come and play her first game tonight. And, but so she only had about 1,200-ish points, like put together. That's not even like painted, but like at least put together. And, it wasn't really like a cohesive, like proper army. I think she only had one unit of troops, and that was a little 5-man squad of rangers, and it was actually the old metal rangers. And she had like the Avatar of Cain, and she had a couple Wraith Lords, and she had Mog and Ra and the new Darker. So it was just kind of like a bunch of like random stuff. But we were like, okay, that's cool. It's not really like a full army or like the way we would normally play. Let's do something silly and let's have a big game. And so what we did, because like not to brag or anything, but like quite often I win these games, like one of the better players in our little group. So we said, okay, Tara will pair up with me, and we will have a 3,000 v 3,000 point game where she brings everything she has. I will fill in the difference with my Kroot, and we will be against Imperial Knights. Now, these are Imperial Knights, obviously, before their new codex, so take everything you see here with a grain of salt, because obviously they're about to be probably way better than this. Anyways, so for list-wise, as I started to say, so for Tara, she had, in her HQs, she had Mog and Ra and Avatar of Cain. Obviously, neither one of them can have warlord traits or anything like that because they're both named characters, so that didn't really matter too much. I think for all that matters, she just made the Avatar her warlord because it's cool and it's her favorite model. So she had that. She had 5 rangers, just normal plain rangers. She had 1 Viper with a Bright Lance. She had 3 Shining Spears, which this was even funnier. They were represented by unpainted Death Corpse of Krieg riders, because her Shining Spears weren't like put together or anything yet. And she had 2 Wraith Lords, both Wraith Lords, just to keep it simple for her, we equipped them the same. They had 2 Bright Lances, Shurikens, and then they both had the Ghost Glaive sword. And then she had a unit of Dark Reapers. And I believe that was all for her, but I will post any corrections right now, if there is any. And then for me, with the Kroot, obviously I had to make up about 1,800-ish points of Kroot, give or take. And I'm just going to say right now, guys, to make it, because again, like, Tara doesn't even have her book yet. She doesn't know the stratagems yet. She doesn't know like the in-depth stuff. This was just like a learning thing for her. We kept it super simple as far as like CP and all this and that. And because obviously my friend has the advantage, he's got 3,000 points of one army all together versus 2 separate armies, like trying to share CPs and stuff. So we just counted it as one big army or one battle-forged army. So we were all sharing the CP. We still got the CP each turn, which like maybe we should have not done that in retrospect, because we actually didn't even end up using that much CP. All Kroot army tends to not use that many because they don't get to use a lot of the good Tau strats. So probably didn't really matter in the long run. But that just so you know, that's what we were doing. We were treating it as one army, like one movement phase, one whatever. So anyway, so that was her army. So in my army, my warlord, I took my favorite warlord. Of course, it is the Enforcer Commander. This is the Mega Melee Commander, represented by my big Kroot proxy monster guy. He's got the Onager Gauntlet. He's got the Thermo whatever projector, the Relic Flamer thing. I gave him 2 plasma guns. And yeah, he's just a big, beefy, jacked up boy. He had the Shield Gen 2. And I think he had 1 drone with him. I might mix up my number of drones here. If it seems like I'm like slightly over points or something, I probably mixed up a drone or 2 or something. But anyway, he had a drone. I forget which one it was. I had 4x10 units of Kroot carnivores. We had I skipped over the other HQs. My bad. We had 2 ethereals and we had 2 Kroot shapers, and one of the ethereals had the humble stave. So that was a thing. They had the one to get an extra CP, and then one was giving the 5-up Feel No Pain to core, and then one was giving +1 to wound for Kroot or auxiliaries. So those were their. The one with the humble stave obviously had 2. The one that was doing the Feel No Pain was the one that was sitting in the back, and so I had the 2 of them. Then, like I said, I had 4x10 Kroot carnivores. I had 3 Krootox riders. I had 2x5 Kroot hounds. I had 2x3 Narlock riders, not something you see every day. I had 2 Tetras. I had 10 Pathfinders, 3 of which had rail rifles, and I had 1 recon drone in there. I had 3 great Narlocks. I know mine don't have them on them, but I just, because it's free anyway, I gave them all the twin Kroot gun. It's probably the best option on them right now. I had the Riptide with the big ion gun. I had a Hammerhead with the big railgun. I had 2 Kroot broadsides with all missiles. And I believe that is everything. Again, if I mixed something up or forgot something, I will have it pop up at some point while I'm talking. But I think that was pretty much it. And like I said, we were versus 3,000 points of Imperial Knights. They were playing as House Krast, and he had a Castellan, a Paladin, what's it called? It's the one with 2 guns, the Battle Cannon and the Avenger Gatling gun. I want to say it's an Errant, but I mixed them up, so I'm going to I'll have that pop up too. I have a lot of shit pop up, just bear with me. So he had those 3. He had a Majera that was represented by a oh my god, why can't I can't think of any of the names. Anyway, he had a Majera that was represented by something that wasn't a Majera. He had 2 Warglaves and then 2 of the Helverins. And actually, I think he had 3 Warglaves. No, he had 4 Warglaves. Yeah, he had 4 Warglaves and 2 Helverins. Wow, so he actually had a lot of knights. And yeah, so you're going to see the game in a minute, but basically, like, if you look at our army, like, we don't have that much anti-tank. We have some good, like, melee anti-tank in the form of the Avatar, and my commander can do some stuff with he has the Warlord trait for all the reroll hits and wounds, so he can do some good punching there. But it's not a lot of anti-tank, but what it is a lot of, like, strength 5, strength 6, strength 5, strength 6, 7 shooting. And basically, like, that's kind of what I have for the Kroot right now. I don't have much more that I could have brought. I could have brought the Taunar, but the Taunar is in just such a funny, weird spot right now. It's so overpriced compared to even Imperial Knights, which are also not in a great spot. So I'm waiting for something to happen with that before I bring it in, because I want to show you guys how cool it is, and I want it to actually do stuff and not just get killed instantly. So we don't have a ton of dedicated anti-tank, but we have a ton of stuff that, like, wounds on 5s and just lots of it. So we kind of figured we had enough to get by with that. And then what we have, of course, over the Imperial Knights is just like crazy board presence, right? You've got so many little units, the things like the hounds, the Narlock cavalry, like none of it's going to kill anything, but it's just really annoying. It's just annoying fast things zip around the board. Kroot have pregame moves. They move fast naturally. I always take Monka for that extra bit of movement at the start if I need it. And yeah, so the idea was basically to just swarm the board. I had one unit of Kroot and my commander in Deep Strike, and the plan was, and you'll see how this went. My plan from the very start was like, if all else fails, I'm gonna like bait him into wasting all his CP on things like rotating ion shields and stuff like that, which of course, unlike the big castle, is very expensive, so that my commander can drop down 9 inches away, use the Frank, what's it called? I can't think of anything right now. God, I'm gonna have to have it pop up too. The frickin' Kroot Tau stratagem, where after you shoot, you get to move 6 inches, and it doesn't stipulate like some other things that you can't charge afterwards. Maybe it's been FAQ'd and I missed it, but as far as I know, that's true. So he pops down 9 inches, shoots, moves 6. Now he's only 3 inches away from whatever, and Big Boy's going to charge in with that Onager Gauntlet and whatever and do some serious damage. So that was my plan all along for him. That's why he was in Deep Strike. The Kroot were in reserve to pop down and get some R&D. And yeah, so basically, like, you know, almost 2/3 of the army were mine. The other is Tara, and Tara's just learning. She's learning like how to read data sheets, how to move, you know, some very basic like stratagems. Like we printed out a couple of her stratagems that we found online that we thought might come up, like the avatars like fight on death thing. And yeah, we're just having fun rolling dice. So hope you guys enjoy. And without further ado, let's jump into the battle and see how things went.
On a night race. They're always fun to watch.
All right, this madness that we see here is a 3,000 point game of knights, which are the knights that I'm commission painting for my friend Brandon. Say hi, Brandon.
Hey.
And they are against a unholy alliance of some of Tara's brand new Eldar and a shit ton of Kroot. And this is obviously knights before they get their new codex, so it's going to be pretty interesting. Secondaries are, what did you pick? Stranglehold, grind them down, grind them down, engage, and to the last for the knights, and R&D, engage, and bring it down for the Kroot /
And my to the last.
Eldar. Well, I assume it'll be 3 of the big knights.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know which 3 they are. It's going to be the Crusader, Castellan, and the Majera.
Okay, so Crusader, Majera, and Castellan are his to the last.
Yep.
And how we're doing it is we're just counting this as one big army because Terra's brand new and, you know, we're still learning the rules and whatever. We're going to be being pretty chill about this all. But so we each started with 18 CP. Each player or each side has spent a couple pregame. But yeah, so we're just going to be playing this as one big army. Obviously, you know, 2 separate rule sets. But we will come back at the end of whoever wins the roll-offs turn 1. All right, so it's the end of Knights turn 1. They won the roll-off. And as we can see, a bunch of them have moved up. One little Armiger did make it into combat. For kills, what did you kill? You killed 3 Narlock Riders that were here. He killed the 5 Hounds that were in front of them. We wounded this Wraith Knight. He killed almost all the Pathfinders that were up there. We killed the 1 Great Narlock. He got hurt in shooting, and then this Knight was able to advance and charge, and he got +2 charge from that guy and made it all the way to the Narlock and killed him. Those Kroot intervened. They did 3 wounds back to the Knight with their cool new stratagem. I think it's called a Trap Well Laid. And yeah, so that is the end of that. For points, you killed 3 units for his grind, it's called. Grind it down. He's got 3 quarters for engage, and all your to the last are still alive. So it's the end of Kroot and Eldar turn 1. everything pretty much moved up. Got the headless Avatar of Cain here. We had what happened in shooting? What was this knight over here called?
The Crusader.
The Crusader lost a bunch of wounds in shooting. The Riptide pretty much whiffed and did nothing. The Eldar stuff didn't do very much either. The Hammerhead went and did like 9 damage to it flat. So that was pretty cool. And then it was just a bunch of other plink shooting. And then there's some Kroot broadsides hiding in this building. They did some wounds to it too. So between all that, we did kill that. This guy took a little bit of damage, not that much. That Armiger that was over there died to Kroot melee, but not before interrupting combat and killing another Narlock, so that was pretty good. That guy over there lost a couple wounds. I forget to what. What shot him? Do you remember? It was the Dark Reapers, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dark Reapers shot all the way over there and then did their sneaky Eldar moves and fell back behind that building. But yeah, so we've killed 2 knights, hurt 2 other ones a little bit. We got some points for R&D. We had, I think it was the Kroot over here, and one of the little units over there did it. We're not quite engaging. Those hounds couldn't quite get far enough, even though I think they rolled like a 5. Yeah, so fairly even so far. Obviously, with the Castellan back there, it's probably going to be a lot of our dead stuff next turn. So, anyways, Brandon started blasting, and like almost everything was gone. All of the Great Narlocks died to shooting. The Krootoks died to shooting. A whole bunch of this infantry over here, including some Rangers and some Kroot, died to charges from these guys. There was some Kroot and some Hounds up here. Those all died to various things. This Wraithlord that was over here died to shooting. Now, Terry finally redeemed herself, and her Wraithlord killed this Armiger that charged her, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, it's things are looking pretty grim, but we're not quite out of it yet, as the headless Avatar has yet to do anything yet, but he's probably going to get to shine this turn. And yeah, I guess we'll just see how it goes. For points, what'd you get? He got 1,000,000 kills, so his grind it down is good.
So right
what
now,
are your other secondaries?
So for engage, I got 4 points for engage. Then to the last, I still got my Castellan and my Majera left.
Okay, so yeah, because we did kill the one big knight. That was his third one for that. So
I can't grind them down.
Yeah. Okay, so not completely out of it yet, but we'll see how this turn goes.
And I'm holding 2 objectives.
So the end of Kroot Eldar turn 2, and we definitely pulled it back a bit. One baby knight was killed over here with shooting, little stuff like from the Bright Lance from the Viper, and the shooting from, what's his name? Mogin Ra. And a couple other little things were able to kill that. However, Mogin and those spears weren't quite able to kill this baby knight. He lived on 2 wounds. The Avatar got his grubby little mitts on the, what was he, a Knight Paladin in the middle?
Yep, Paladin.
And anyway, he started slashing. How much damage did he do to it, Brandon?
He did 23.
Yeah, it was pretty mean. We took a couple off of this. This is meant to be a Majera. I know he doesn't look like it, but it's a Majera. And then we did something cool. My Mega Melee Commander, represented by this monstrosity, did the cool thing that Tau can do now, where they come in and then they move 6 inches after shooting. So he did that and moved closer to the Castellan, and he melee'd the hell out of the Castellan. However, he didn't quite manage to kill it, but he did put it down to just 3 wounds. So pretty good comeback from us. Might not be enough though. We'll have to see. I know Brandon was getting pretty anxious when the big guy got charged there. But. So at the end of Brandon's turn, here is where we are. This Warglaive stayed in combat. He got killed by Mogin Ra and the Shining Spears. This mean old Majera came over here and tried to fight the Wraithlord and did nothing, but he did a lot of shooting into the Avatar in between his shooting. and the Castellan shooting. They killed the Avatar and my super fighty commander over there. These two goobers over here didn't do too much again.
Except kill the riders.
Yeah, they killed the Narlock riders. Yeah, so that is pretty much where we're at. There's not a whole lot on the board left for either people. I think if we have a really good turn with the Kroot, the game might be over, but we will talk it out if that happens. All right, so that went way quicker than expected. Points don't matter. Rest of the game doesn't matter. This is what, turn 3? Is this our turn 3?
Yeah.
This may be our turn 3.
Get on that.
Yeah. So everything died. We got one little baby knight over here. He's on like 8 wounds, and there's still a couple little blink shots to go into him.
Oh.
The Wraith Lord fell back. The frickin' Hammerhead like one-shotted him. The broadsides nuked that baby knight, and this guy got nuked by the Riptide. So when all was said and done, we probably, by the end of the game, we probably would have maxed most of our secondaries, if not all.
I'm a sad panda.
Brandon lost all his to the last. He actually was doing pretty good on points.
Always do good on points.
Things just kind of spiraled there at the end, and then they all died.
Yeah, it went off the rails so quick.
But you know what? It's nice because, like we said, the last time I read about Eldar and Kroot together, the Kroot were eating the Eldar. So
now they can have a tasty snack. They worked up an appetite.
Yeah, now we're all friends, and we'll eat Imperial Knight crew together. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! All right, it was a good game though. It's pretty good. The Avatar got to do like one cool thing and then die horrifically. Castellan just freaking nuked his face off. Riptide.
He didn't have a head.
Riptide finally did something at the end of the game. He did nothing before that. Hammerhead did a thing twice, I think. So like that was pretty cool. Castellan was a menace as always. Majero was pretty cool.
Paladin even took some lives.
Paladin did some stuff, yeah.
It was the Crusader that just died right away.
I don't know what else. What else was like a standout unit? Moggan Ra actually did like 6 or 8 wounds to a baby knight one time, so that was pretty cool. Yeah.
The Wraith Lord just wouldn't die.
The Wraith Lord didn't die.
God, that was stupid.
He lived.
Survived the Castellan twice. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, he just kept living. I think the Majero tried to fight him too and just missed everything, right?
Fucking whipped everything.
Yeah. All right, so that went a little bit quicker than expected, but nonetheless, it was a pretty fun and cool game. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing the Kroot in action and seeing how they can fare against a pretty big, scary opponent. Honestly, going into it, I didn't know how things were going to go. I kind of felt like it was so much like big T8 bodies that we kind of would struggle to get through them, but in the end, all that little plink shotting, it really does add up, and yeah, it ended up being enough to get through them. And like I said, it could have went either way, honestly. There's a couple lucky rolls here and there, and a couple unlucky rolls here and there. If that Castellan just lived a little bit longer, maybe if he was in a little bit different spot, that thing just destroys everything. But anyways, as always, guys, thanks for watching, and as I always say, if you want to support the channel, Patreon is the place to be. For just $1 a month, you can see all of my up-and-coming work-in-progress stuff. There's some little painting tutorials on there, and you can also vote on videos and get entered into any giveaways and stuff. So all that normal YouTube garbage. But regardless, whether you go there or not, whether you just watch the video, appreciate the support as always. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.